So the question today is, can you do OMAD with a sedentary lifestyle? Does it take longer to lose the weight? This is an excellent question, and it demands that we look at why it's an excellent question. The issue with how your activity level is maintained on OMAD is a pertinent one, and it follows you all the way from the very beginning of your journey, all the way through, if you're losing weight, all the way through maintenance and battening down on a good lifestyle. So the answer to the question is, of course you can be sedentary, but that's not how you should think of your activities. I love to get up every day, and I think of every activity I do as a wholesome and productive activity. Whether that involves working out that day or whether it doesn't really matter. I know that I'm going to put my time to good use. As the case is, I just got back from a run. I like to run. I try to do 2 miles a day. Doesn't always happen, because that's where I find that it's easier to meditate, it's easier to focus, it is easier to stay in my A game. Then I sometimes, when I'm pumped up and I'm really hot, like I'm got sweat all over me right now, I like to go in the garage and I like to do some squats or some curls or some bench press or overhead press or something. But no matter what I'm doing, in answer to the question, I'm always doing something within my flow. And I did a video here not too long ago on how to stay and live in flow. Every effort you make should be within that sweet spot. The real purpose of life is no different than popping those little bubbles that you get when you get a package and you pull out the little packaging and you pop the bubbles, and it feels so good and satisfying. You don't know why you do it, you just know you love to do it. And in the meantime, you're probably able to justify it by thinking, I'm going to go throw this away, I'm going to go put this in the trash, and I'm going to start to clean and do something else. Well, it's the same way when you get up in the morning and you weigh yourself, and if it's your weigh day, you go and if your meal's in the morning, you go and you make the meal. If you get your coffee, if you take a cold shower, if you just get up and watch the news, it doesn't matter, because what you should be aiming for is to create a routine that is good for you. When I do this, I always do it in the sense that I say, can I keep doing this? Same thing with OMAD. I've said from the very beginning on this channel that from the very, very start, you should be able to say, I can keep doing this. If you're finding my videos and you've never done OMAD and you're way out of shape, you're going to have to trust me. And you'll see a month in that you can keep doing it. But what you want to do with every activity in your life is say, I can keep doing this. Go back to me and the weights. I know that if I just keep 2 35-pound dumbbells, I can do everything I need to do with that all the way into old age. I don't have to break the world's bench press record. I don't have to do a supersets. I don't have to do any of those things. I only need to know that if I do about 4 to 6 sets every other day, and I do goblet squats where you hold the thing like this and you squat down. I do a few different exercises on a simple bench. I don't have a gym membership, and I don't need one. So getting back to the bubble popping, or more readily combining that with the bubble popping, my working out is no different than popping the little bubbles. It's fun, and I get energy from it. And even if I don't feel like working out that day, I know I can always go in there and do 4 sets and just have fun with it. Do a different type of curl routine, or maybe just one day I'm going to do a mile run and that's it, and I'm going to run as fast as I can. I'm going to have fun with that. On the other hand, I may not do anything but meditate, and I don't really do any formal meditation, but sit around and just think and watch videos and learn things, maybe make a few consulting calls if I feel like it that day. Folks, it's no different with these videos. I don't plan these things. They come about as they come about. That's the way you should live your life. It comes about as it comes about. That's not to say you do what is easy or you do what is just happenstance. It means you set a rhythm whereby you're allowing yourself to live in flow, like water, to quote the late great Bruce Lee. Do that with your activity levels, whatever they are for you. If you're 400 pounds, you will not include much activity. You're going to be moving from the bedroom to the bathroom to the couch for a while until you can drop enough weight to start moving more. If you're a normal 30-something, 40-something, and your normal weight or close to, you're going to have a whole different routine laid out. So there's no way I can give you a guidance on what is natural for you, but I can tell you this: everything that you need to be doing should be a mixture of challenging and fun, and it should not be overly strenuous, just like running, my favorite thing of all still. I don't run fast. I run to where I can get into my routine, and I'm just like a planet traversing around a star. To me, it's a beautiful thing. And that's really all I'm thinking. If you could jump into my mind when I'm running, I'm not really thinking about much. I'm just in a state of perfect stasis. That's what you do when you're at your meal. You say, what do I have in here to make today? What is my relationship with my food? Maybe you enjoy cooking, maybe you don't. Regardless, you put as much energy into it as you see fit. It may involve going out, it may involve staying home. Most days I eat plant-based. You wouldn't be able to guess from all the videos I make sometimes, but I really do. And I enjoy it because I find that I have more of a spiritual relationship with the food. It's very easy to do legumes and rice and fruit as opposed to going out, but sometimes I want to go out. I won't fight with the decisions. That's really the big part of living in flow. Now, as far as your metabolism, I've said this from the beginning. If you just stay active, if you'll just not go to sleep all day, you'll do better than you'll do as optimal. You'll do better than baseline. Now, if you are laying down and sleeping all day and eating OMAD, you'll still make progress, but it's going to be probably over the long run almost, dare I say, deleterious to your cardio and your muscles. You don't want to just be completely inactive. So again, I'm not going to sit here and presume to know, Kelly, what exactly your weight is, your lifestyle, your health challenges, whether or not you're an amputee. Do you see where this goes? Do you see why, if you understand life through fluidity, you understand that we're just all here. We're all exactly where we need to be. You don't struggle with those questions. So find a routine, if you feel so empowered, that is conducive to your betterment. And you already know what your betterment is. There's no struggling with that. But the main thing is to say, can I keep doing this? That has always been what will bring you back to baseline. And this is harder the younger you are because you want to get out there and you have a lot of life zeal. You want to go out there and push yourself and you end up tearing a muscle in the gym. I've done it before. I've done crazy things where I thought I was tough and then I got, realized that's silly. Any age over maybe say 36, 38, you don't want to be doing that anymore. The weights I use are about 85 pounds on a bar, maybe 140 if I'm really feeling optimistic. I don't set records, I don't do any of those things because that's not within my life goal. And if you can think like that, you can optimize everything in your life and put it all into one box. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but what it has to be is something that you can see yourself doing 50 years from now. Can you walk around the block until you're dead? Yes. Can you lift reasonable amounts of weight for your sex and height and strength and age? You could probably negotiate that pretty easily and say, here's what I can pick up. And lo and behold, when you do that, I'm going to take a drink. When you do that, you realize that you go to that next level organically. Pardon the term. You go to that next level without trying. Whereas if you start from baseline and you say, I'm going to break the world record, I'm going to do this or that or the other, that's great. You probably will fall short. But if you can stay in the middle and you realize that you are just as fluid as anything else around you. You're no different than space-time, the expansion of space-time. Your health problems come from the fact that everything in your body's changing and it's in a constant state of flux. So why don't you change with it? Why would you think for a moment that you are in any way, shape, or form immune from that process? Well, you didn't, but you probably just didn't think about it in these terms. So go back to the popping bubbles, go back to the working out, go back to walking around the block or running or spending time in your favorite hobby or writing a book. You don't have to be terribly active. You don't have to be even optimally active. Although, again, for your long game, you should be doing something that you realize you want to do every day. And that's why you should treat every day as if you're perfectly healthy and you should be that active. If you don't feel like it that day, then say, hold on a minute. Here's what I held myself to. I can keep doing this. And lo and behold, you find that you're really good. I haven't been sick in years. I've told you all this. But for those of you who've been sick, try it on your next sick day. Get up and walk around when you're sick and you'll find that lo and behold, the reason you called out of work isn't as bad a reason as you thought. You can get out there and realize that it's not that bad. You probably could go to work. Maybe you shouldn't. But I think I've made my point. Optimization, staying in flow, staying in the center, realizing that what you do today is tomorrow, and what you do today you should be able to do tomorrow. I won't, you won't, nobody will be able to stay in tip-top shape. It's not your goal because you can't take any of this with you. All of this dies, gets old, falls apart. The idea is to optimize. When you have that mindset, nothing is impossible to you, and you realize that you're perfect right as you are.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.